Jai Shriman Narayan. Jai Shriman Narayan. Jai Shriman Narayan. I pay my obeisances to my spiritual master, Srimad Jagat Guru Sudarshan Acharya Ji Maharaj. I pay my obeisances to Lord Sri Ramanuj. I pay my obeisances to Mother Lakshmi. I pay my obeisances to Lord Sriman Narayan. And I pay my obeisances to all the Purva Acharyas of the Sri Ramanuj Sampradaya. I welcome all of you to the Thursday Satsang at the Sri Narayan Dham, here physically in Durban, South Africa. I welcome those that's watching this discourse locally, nationally and internationally. And I welcome in advance those that's going to be watching this discourse when it is posted in the various groups from around the world. We continuing our topic from Sunday's discourse, whereby I volunteered to have a series of discourses in lieu of a post that appeared in one of the groups where the writer himself has stated that with the various institutions within Sanatana Dharma, the various types of worship and the seemingly contradictory rituals and performances has confused him. So, at the very outset, I want to state that Sanatana Dharma itself is not in a confused state. It is scientifically systemized and scientifically categorized by the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. And it is absolute. And in its state of absoluteness, there can be absolutely no confusion. So confusion reigns within the minds of those that are claimants or claim to be followers of Sanatana Dharma. The confusion is within those that profess to be following Sanatana Dharma. The Supreme Lord has scientifically and systematically categorized how one embracing Sanatana Dharma should live. If you are not following the prescript of Sanatana Dharma, then obviously there is going to be wide-scale confusion, because you claim to be a follower of Sanatana Dharma, yet you also claim to be confused within Sanatana Dharma, yet you do not provide evidence that you are scripturally knowledgeable. So we have to take all the perspectives and line it up to differentiate whether Sanatana Dharma as a science is in a state of confusion, or whether those individuals that claim to be following the prescripts of Sanatana Dharma are in a state of confusion. So, we will declare immediately that the scriptures absolute. There is not one sentence in any of the Vedas, not one sentence or one word that will stir up any state of confusion. The Vedas is absolute science. Absolute means there can be no mistake. No mistake. The Vedas is perfect. It is arranged perfectly. In order to experience Sanatana Dharma, you have to follow the prescriptions and the instructions of Sanatana Dharma. And if you follow the rules and regulative principles of Sanatana Dharma, then there is absolutely no state of confusion. Bringing that into its perspective, that Sanatana Dharma is absolute, it's an absolute science, and it is the human mind of individuals who are grouped together claiming to be followers of Sanatana Dharma that is in a confused state. Then, in answer to why there are different incarnations or avatars of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and why these avatars are not equally respected and worshipped. And he mentions Lord Buddha, and he also mentions ISKCON. To get a total corroboration of Lord Buddha, I want to go back to the Vedas itself. The Rig Veda, or within the Rig Veda, Parashar, P-A-R-A-S-H-A-R, the sage Parashar, P-A-R-A-S-H-A-R, is one of the seers, in the Rig Veda. Who is Parashar? One of the seers, where he enlightens us initially in the Rig Veda. The Rig Veda is the first Veda that was created. So I'm establishing the sage Parashar. Who is the sage Parashar, other than the seer in the Rig Veda? He is the father of Dvaipana Krishna, who is the current compiler of the Vedas that we have in our possession today. So Sage Parashar is the father of Dvaipana Krishna Veda Vyas, who is the current compiler of the Vedas that are extant today, and that knowledge that we have in our possession. The speaker in the Vishnu Puran is none other than Sage Parashar. So if Sage Parashar exists in the Rig Veda and he is the speaker in the Puranas, then we take for granted that he is an absolute authority. He is an absolute authority, for he appears in the very first text of Sanatana Dharma, and he appears in the Puranas. He is the speaker in the Puranas. And in the Vishnu Puran, it is stated that there are 10 avatars of Lord Vishnu. There are 10 avatars of Lord Vishnu, and the 9th avatar of Lord Vishnu is Lord Buddha. Okay? That is solid. That is scripturally solid, because we trace in him right from the Rig Veda, which is solid. Then he is the father. He is the father of the current compiler of the Vedas, Krishna Dvaipanya Veda Vyas. And he is the speaker in the Vishnu Puran, and in the Vishnu Puran he states that Lord Vishnu has 10 avatars, solid as a rock, cannot be shifted. If you are a follower of Sanatana Dharma, if you profess to be a follower of Sanatana Dharma, then you have to accept this solid fact. I have also noticed that the greatest attackers on Sanatana Dharma is not the Christians, is not the Muslims, is not the Jews. It's those who have surnames that associate them to Sanatana Dharma, because they get very technical. They get technical. And this is the reason why they get technical, because they do not aspire to be loyal Sanatana Dharma community. They do not aspire to be loyal Sanatana Dharma community. Okay? And you'll see on the various groups that the Sri Narayan Dham is associated with, you'll find that there's these technical people mostly claim to be, or their surnames will tell you they from Sanatana Dharma. Okay? And one of the technicalities I want to rectify before I move forward is how many Devis and Devtas there are in Sanatana Dharma. Chris, how many Devis and Devtas are there in Sanatana Dharma? Kishore? Dana? 33 million. Both of you all 33 million. Vasudeva? Vasudeva also 33 million. Is 33 million Devis and Devtas too much? Sita, you need that whole 33 million for yourself as one single human being. And you say it's too much, and even more. So, the Rig Veda states that there are 33 koti Devis and Devtas. K-O-T-I in Sanskrit means what? Crore, K-R-O-R-E, crore. 1 crore is 10 million. 1 crore is 10 million. 33 crore will mean 33 times 10 million. Sita? 330. And Sanskrit is a perfect language because it is spoken by, it is the language of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Koti also means type or class or category. Koti also means type or class or category. And there are 33 eminent Devis and Devtas. So there are 330 million Devis and Devtas, and with 33 eminent type of Devis and Devtas. You understand? So let me just break this down a bit more simpler. We have the Supreme Personality of Godhead right on the top, called the Creator. Then many of you understand that in the workings of any organization, in the functioning of any organization, there has to be a committee called the Working Committee. You understand? The Working Committee. And within the Working Committee, there's Brahma, the creator, Lord Vishnu, the maintainer, and Lord Shiva, the annihilator. So we have the creator, we have the working committee, and beneath the working committee, we have, like in a government, beneath your prime minister, you will have ministers. So these eminent ministers, so Lord Indra will take the position of prime minister, and these 33 will take the position of ministry as cosmic administrators, So right on the ground level, you have counselors. So when I was in politics, I was in charge of all the wards in KZN. And just KZN at that point in time had 3,000 wards. KwaZulu-Natal had 3,000 wards. Okay? It was a long time ago, and I don't know if the demarcations have changed. If they not changed, then KZN has 3,000 wards. So councillors are people that deal directly with the community. They have a dependency. The community are dependent on the councillors for the servicing Your first port of call is the counselor. If you do not have street lights, or if you have problem with lights, your first port of call is your counselor and your municipality. If you have social issues, your counselor from that ward supposed to connect you to your religious perspective. So if you're a Hindi, then there's a Hindi organization in your area which can give you assistance. There's a Muslim organization or there's a church that can give you assistance. So this is the counselor supposed to coordinate all these for you. So these 330 million Devis and Devtas, 330 million Devis and Devtas. What is the world population today, Vasan?
$6 to $7 billion.
How many?
6 to 7 billion.
You, Vasan? Vasan is in Rajagun. Rajagun means selfish. As long as his daughter is okay. As long as his daughter is okay, that's in Rajagun. Alright? Satgun, you'll embrace all the souls in the world. But Vasan is embracing how many souls? One soul. So he's in Rajagun. Alright? And there's many of you here in Tamagun. You don't care how many souls are in this world. 7.7 billion. So when God created living entities, the bodies for living entities, which is 8.4 million species, 8 million are self-sufficient. 8 million are self-sufficient. So animals, plants, insects, birds, reptiles, trees, these 8 million species have computed intellect within themselves, which is limited for them to sustain themselves within nature itself. So a bird does not go to Technicon. A bird does not go to Technicon or university to learn how to build its nest. Sita?
Yes.
It does not learn how to build its house. It does not get an architect to plan its nest. It does not get an engineer to see that the weight of its nest and its eggs can hang on a particular branch. No engineering. Okay? Can you believe, Sita? Whether it lays 5 eggs or 1 egg, whether all its birdlings live in that nest, it knows how to secure that nest on a branch. Also, it does not go to the airport for flying lessons. Although you'll find a whole lot of birds at airports, they're not there for flying lessons, because it has been computed in the system how to fly. You understand? But there are 400,000 species of humans which are currently, how many billion? 7.7 billion that needs to be controlled by 330 million Devis and Devtas. So the human species are controlled by the controllers, who's called the Devis and Devtas. Are you understanding? And there are 330 million of Devis and Devtas that's currently controlling 7.6, you said, Sita? 7.7 billion people. So I want each of you to blink your eye. You'll all blink your eyes. Vasan, you blink your eye. Don't wink at the Guru. Blink your both eyes. There's a difference between winking and blinking. So when you blink your eye, there is a cosmic administrator that gave you subtle power just to blink your eye. There is a cosmic administrator who gave you subtle power just to blink your eye. Breathe in. Everyone, I want to hear you. That breathing in, you got the power by a cosmic administrator. Wave. This power of waving you got from a cosmic administrator. So all functions of a human being, every function within a human being, in between the human and the Devi or Devta, there is a power. That power personified becomes the Devta. And the individual human being and the Devi or Devta is interdependent. Interdependent. If two entities are interdependent, then there has to be a third entity who made the two entities interdependent. Is it not? If two entities are interdependent, then it is logical that there has to be a third entity who made those two entities interdependent. And who is the third entity? The Supreme Personality of Godhead. Is there any confusion in Sanatana Dharma? Is there any confusion in Sanatana Dharma? A small company of 30 people need administrators, they need a CEO, they need a chairperson, they need people to sweep the floors, they need people to do the books. Small company of 30 or 40 people. 8.4 million species, of which 7.7 billion are only 400. Then we come to yajna. What does yajna mean? What does yajna mean? Chris. Because only Chris is not born in Sanatana Dharma, and I'm asking him and he doesn't know. All of you here are born in Sanatana Dharma. You'll say it is very, very confusing. All of you here leave the world will say Sanatana Dharma is very confusing. But if I ask you what's your religion, what's it? You say I'm a Hindu. You will say I'm a Hindu, alright? And I have one Hindu here and a father, one Hindu and a father who hardly visits this ashram. But on the first day of school, the Hindu father and Hindu daughter arrives to feed the Gomatas. And in this area here, there's maybe about 3,000 or 4,000 Hindus. They bring 2 Catholics to feed the Gomatas. Okay? 2 Catholics to feed the... So Chris, what is yajna?
Sacrifice.
2. What's yajna? Ritualistic sacrifice with a specific object. So look at the absoluteness of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we have cosmic administrators in charge of rain, in charge of sunlight, in charge of wind, in charge of fire, in charge of water. You need all this to live. From the 8.4 million species, does only human need it or all the species need it? All need it. All the species need sunlight, water, rain. So in the Karma Kanda of the Vedas, in the ritualistic portions of the Vedas, the Supreme Lord instructed that you do yajnas for the cosmic administrators. And by appeasing the cosmic administrators through yajna, by sending oblations, through fire, which is to be received by the specific Devi or Devta you have invoked. And for that you need qualified priest or pandit who knows how to chant the specific Vedic mantras, and these specific Vedic mantras in its proper frequency is the seed to unlock the secrets of the universe. So when you perform a yajna for rain, who benefits in that rain? Who is all? And the Devis and Devtas, because when you invoke them and you share your oblation with them, then aren't they happy? Aren't they happy, Pops? Yes, they are happy. So look at the function, the central function of a human being. By performing a yajna, you make the Devis and Devtas happy. When they shower their grace from their department, whichever specific department that they are heading, then they make the humans happy, and they make the plants happy, and they make the animals happy. They make all 8.4 million species of life on this world benefits by a single act from a human being. from a single act of a human being. Provided this yajna must be done by a qualified priest or pandit who understands, who have qualified, not these priests and pandits in South Africa who buy the prayer book from Maharaj's prayer stores. These priests and pandits who went to Gurukul, who can pronounce each Vedic mantra as per prescription. And this is where the confusion comes in. And it didn't only come in today, it came in over 3,000 years ago. Because in a yajna, if you want to test your mantra reading, if a priest wants to test his mantra reading, then he is allowed to find a sick, a lame, or an old animal. Sick, lame, or old animal, and test the power of his reading by taking this animal and placing it in the fire. The result will be that that animal which was placed in the fire will jump out healthy and fixed up. What the result will be? Healthy and fixed up. That is the only Vedic injunction where you are allowed to take an animal and put it in the fire. But what Rishi is doing is taking that Vedic injunction, is buying a bottle of cane and a goat. Bottle of cane and a goat. And which injunction is using? This injunction, because he's saying in the Vedas, it is stated you can. So he is having a spit brai. And his spit brai started in December and stopped, I think, yes, because he has not been in satsang. He was goat sacrificing with his bottle of cane, whole of December and half of January. And if you ask him, Rishi, why have you been doing this? He'll say it's in the Vedas. In the Vedas. You understand? So Rishi's neighbor, Dana, will also join him because Rishi says it's in the Vedas. And Dana's children and grandchildren and everyone will find goats. I have goats myself in the back of the ashram. I won't find it anymore. They will be gone. They will be sacrificed. Misinterpretation of the Vedas became so rife in India. Misinterpretation of the Vedas became so rife in India about 3,600 years ago that the Buddha avatar had to come down. The Buddha avatar had to come down. Avatar means descend. Lord Narayan had to descend as Buddha. And when he descended as Buddha, he formulated a certain philosophy to suit that particular time, to stop the unnecessary killing that Rishi has started. And look at Rishi's name, Rishi and Rishi from the Vedas. In the Vedas you only get Rishis. And look, we have a Rishi sitting in our satsang. Okay? So that, Rishi, you've been a naughty boy from a long time. 3,600 years ago, you made Lord Narayan come down as Buddha. Because Rishi went right round and everybody, for every single thing that they required, if Rishi's daughter was going to get married, 6 goats. If Rishi's son was going to get married, 12 goats. If Rishi had a flooring contract with a big hotel, 100 goats. You understand? So can you see now the senseless killing through misinterpretation? So, Lord Narayan, who became the Buddha avatar, postulated a philosophy that is contrary to the Vedas, wherein he stated that there is no personal God. There is no personal God. And creation is one single continuation with no personal God, and that violence to animal is a transgression of his philosophy. So in one stroke, animal killing was stopped, and all the followers of Buddha, advocated by King Asoka in India, animal killings were suddenly stopped. So Buddha's specific reason, remember, every avatar, what's the reason for descent?
To restore Dharma.
To restore Dharma. The other avatars, when they came down, they came to also assist the Devis and Devtas, where the Asuras were winning and the Devis and Devtas were losing. But this time, this 9th avatar was not to save the Devis and Devtas. The Devis and Devtas were not in trouble, but the Dharma was in trouble. The Dharma that was in trouble. So Lord Buddha appeared, he changed the mindset of people, okay, and he saved the unnecessary killing of animals, which was a positive incarnation. It was positive. And that is the reason why Lord Buddha came down to earth, to restore Dharma. Okay, what's the time, somebody?
20 past 8.
Okay, so I think I will conclude and sum up this discourse. Conclude and sum up this discourse, okay? I think whilst I'm here, I rather give you a Vedic injunction. What's the date today? 16th. I saw your Facebook post yesterday. Same color shade, same color hair. Alright? So I said, let me give you a present today. Alright? The Vedas do not advocate meat eating. Vedas do not advocate meat eating as the sacrificial yajna was misinterpreted. Also, meat eating has been misinterpreted. Let me explain the Vedas to you. And let me explain the Sanskrit language. Each Sanskrit word have about 8 or 7 English equivalent. Throughout the Upanishads, which is the primary source of our philosophy, learners of the Vedas do not come in a satsang like this, Rishi, learn the Vedas and go home. They undergo rigorous disciplines. Sometimes you must come to the Guru's ashram and go and tend to the goats and cows. For 1 whole year, the Guru won't look at you. What you must do? Tend to the goats and the cows. And after 1 year, the Guru will call you and in 1 sentence, just answer 1 question. Okay? There are others, after 10 years, the Guru will answer a few questions. So, the entire Upanishad is about teacher and learner, and there are strict disciplines enforced in the Vedas. And the reason these strict disciplines are enforced in the Vedas, for you to know the Vedas, you have to be on the side of the Vedas. For you to know the Vedas, you have to be on the side of the Vedas. What does that mean? Rishi. So you have to be qualified as a student of the Vedas. And what is the qualification of a student of the Vedas? Kishore, how you qualify to be a student of the Vedas?
Surrender to Guru.
What are your qualifications? No meat, no intoxicating substances, contained sex, no gambling. What else? 4. No anger, no hatred, no jealousy, no pride, no envy, no illusion, no prejudice. When you remove all of these things, then only you can become a student of the Vedas. When you remove these lenses from your mind, then when the meaning of the Vedas unfold, you will know which way to interpret what God has stated. Do you understand? One Sanskrit word has many meanings. Like I explained to you, the word koti has 2 meanings. It means crores, and it also means class, category. You understand? Other words have 10 meanings. Your sight to view those meanings in the manner in which it was written, you have to be a Vedic student. So if you go on the internet now, depending what you want to read, if you want to eat meat, Rishi, then you'll take the Vedas and you'll find those meanings in the verses that will tell you to eat need. If you are anti-Sanatan Dharma, then you will find meanings to show that Sanatan Dharma is corrupt. If you do not belong, if you are not a Vedic student, if you have not gone through austerities and penances, the Vedas will always elude you. And this is what the internet is full of. This is what the internet is full of. And I read somewhere that they are saying that in earlier Vedic times, go meda. Go meda. See the meaning of meda in go meda. I want to show you how the internet has become a Vedic scholar and a guru. Meda means go meda means go means
Cow. Sacrifice.
Means one of the 9 gems. That was Gomeda.
Gomedha.
It's one word, it's 2 words.
Well, it has been interpreted to sacrifice a cow. Go means cow, isn't? Meda means to sacrifice. Go meda means to sacrifice a cow. I am happy you're hearing this. Go meda means to sacrifice a cow. Go also means senses. Go also means senses. When you sacrifice your senses, what happens? You become pure. Sita, you don't become deluded when you sacrifice your senses. You become pure. So what do you think the Vedas will be stating by Go Meda? To sacrifice your senses or sacrifice a cow? To sacrifice your senses. But those again Sanatana Dharma will interpret it as how? Sacrifice a cow. All of you understand? And this is why you need a guru. Because the guru will set you and realign you on the truth of Sanatana Dharma. Guru did not create Sanatana Dharma. Guru is a minuscule speck in Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma is a perfect science on its own, with or without a guru. The guru is not required to market Sanatana Dharma. Absolute science need no marketing. Can anything absolute need marketing, Vasudeva? No. Needs no marketing. Guru do not do Sanatana Dharma a favor by having these discourses. Gurus do the human that profess to be in Sanatana Dharma a favor to realign their mind and live as humans. For you to live as a human being, you must live within the parameters of Sanatana Dharma, because that's how you was created. Sanatana Dharma is the source of your creation as a human being. So there's no such thing as sacrificing of animals in Sanatan Dharma. And if there's no sacrificing of animals in Sanatan Dharma, then that means there must be no eating meat in Sanatan Dharma. And I said Sanatan Dharma is absolute science. And I said absolute science is catching up with modern science. Let's see what modern science has found out. Modern science has now found out that your intestine is only made for plant. There is no modification in your intestine for meat. Is that not absolute? Have I corroborated my stance on meat eating? Which part of the Vedas in eating meat has science corroborated? Your intestine is not meant to eat meat. It's not, it has been proven by modern science itself. You understand? All of you understand? And the Vedas said this when? Since time immemorial. Chris, you eat meat? See, Chris, look at Chris. All of you meat eaters, I want Chris to stand here after satsang. Before bowing to the Guru, you need to bow to Chris. We're making him a devta. We're making him a devta. Alright? Then just in the last, to sum up again, we said there are 33 million cosmic administrators, and I said now we're going to make Chris a devta. Is that possible to make Chris a devta? Pops, can we make Chris a devta? Yes, because that 33 million Devis and Devtas are not eternal positions of a particular soul. Those are positions. Those are positions. Right up to Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva are individual souls who take up position after purifying themselves. So if you want to be Brahma, Rishi, you like to be Brahma, the creator? 100 lifetimes of purity. How many? Then you can become Lord Brahma. And this is not a joke. The same, when you were born, did we have the same president? The same deputy president? Same prime minister? Same councillors? No. When their term expires, they go. So after Rishi, 155 trillion years, you can be the next Brahma. You understand? Everyone understood? So it's not a joke when I say Chris can be a devta that can be worshipped. Sanatan Dharma is an absolute science. Jai Shriman.